Welcome back to Tool Talk, guys. My name is Paul Gennari. I'm the social media specialist here at Jonard. And today we have a very special guest, Brandon Sarine, otherwise known as the Solar Goat. Brandon, hello.
It's awesome to be here.
Welcome.
I'm excited for this podcast.
Dude, I was more excited about having this conversation than anything else today.
Oh, I love that.
I was like, I woke up this morning. I was like, I cannot wait to talk to you.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Social media specifically, right?
Absolutely. I have a lot I want to talk to you about, a lot of points we're going to be speaking about. But first, why don't we talk about how you got into this? What got you into doing all this?
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, my tag on social media is Solar Goat. And I'm in the solar industry and I post a lot of content about solar. But I've been doing it for 3 years. And it all started when I was doing an installation and a customer came to me and he was like, yo, have you ever heard about TikTok? And I'd never heard of the app before. This was like before it was starting to get popular.
So you started solar installations 3 years ago. Or you started social media 3 years ago?
Social media.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, man, you've come a long way. I was like, that's impressive.
Yeah, so I've been doing solar for 10 years and started social media about 3 years ago.
That's beautiful. Nice. Very good. What was the reason for you getting into social media? Was it just because it's what's really in right now, or you love making content around what you do?
Well, I love making content, but I got into social media because a customer showed me the value. I was doing the repair on his house and it was just this terrible situation. I kind of had a story behind it.
Okay.
It was like a customer who had a solar panel system that wasn't working. It had been working forever and the contractor went bankrupt and there was all these problems wrong with his system. And he was like, yo, there's kind of a story here. You should make a video about what you're doing. And, maybe it could help other people. Maybe it'd be entertaining. Maybe you'd share information about the market and post it. And so I was like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. So
No, that's genius.
made it.
For me, I mean, when I go to hire a professional too for like anything that I want done at my house, the first thing I do is I see if they have social media.
Oh, really?
Because I want to see if they actually know what they're doing. It's kind of like getting to know someone before you actually know them.
So that's going to build like credibility.
Yes.
If you see them like working with tools.
Yes.
You're like,
Absolutely.
oh, you're actually an HVAC technician.
Yeah. It's not just a website that you pay someone to put up. No, that's awesome.
That's a good point you're making there.
Yeah. No, I do that, and it's funny. I feel like I do that with a lot more than just the trades. But that's like, it's definitely something like if you ever hire an electrician. I mean, in your case, solar panel work is a pretty big task. You want to know that you're hiring the right person for it.
Yeah, because you can't fake it too.
Right.
Like if you're posting consistently videos every single day,
Right.
yeah, that's a ton of credibility. It's like, you can't, hire someone to make a website for you.
I have no, exactly. You can't hire them to go on the roof as well for you. You have to be the person.
Yeah.
What got you into solar work? Like you could have been an electrician, you wanted to get into solar. What was your motivation for that?
So I'm going to go with installs. So I got into solar and selling, and that's kind of like a different topic. But what got me into installs was I actually saw this guy, and he was up on a roof. And I was just taking a walk, and he was up on the craziest 1212 roof. That was like steep, like 1212s, you can't walk on it. He was up at the top of it, and he was lifting a solar panel onto the roof. And I saw
this guy's
that,
crazy.
And I'm like, what is he doing? And I knew a little bit about solar and I'd done cells and things like that. And so I just walked up to his ladder and introduced myself, just said hi, waited for him to get down, talked to him, and he offered me a job.
Really?
For installs, like on the spot. And I was currently like looking for work.
Oh, wow.
And was like interested. It was like the right time to offer me a job. But it was kind of something that was like spontaneous, circumstantial.
Isn't it crazy how life works like that?
Yeah,
one
right.
little thing, and look at where you're here now. We're doing this entire interview, and we've done so many other things together so far already. There's a lot of big future ahead.
Yeah, there's more to that too, because I was walking somewhere and I actually was so distracted I took the wrong turn.
Really?
And so I accidentally ended up there. So yeah, like
That's
more on
fate.
top
That's
of that,
fate.
it's fate. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's actually that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, but hey, it was meant to be.
Yeah, you're supposed to take wrong
You were
turns.
supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be here. So did you have any challenges when you first started being, you stumbled across this
Yeah.
to get into it. Did you have any serious challenges at the beginning? Like you were just saying the 12 12s, that's what
Yeah, it's a steep roof, so it's like angle 12-12, 45 degrees.
So did you have any challenges in your early part of your career that you now in the content you make, you kind of use some of those points to educate people who are just starting to get into this stuff?
Yeah, so I think one of the most viewed videos I put out is anytime I hold a solar panel over my head and the tripod and then carry it up like the sketchiest ladder in the world.
Every time I see you do that, I panic the whole time that video is not gonna.
And so I intentionally do it.
You get me every time.
And so like the first time I saw that guy who I consider one of my mentors, take a solar panel and carry it up a ladder, I was like, I will never do that. I will never be able to carry a solar panel up a ladder because solar panels are heavy. They're like 50 pounds. That's, average.
Yeah, and you're carrying it up a super tall ladder.
Yeah, it's intimidating. You're like, I could drop it and it lands on the customer's car. Like, right, disaster. Or I could fall with it. Or the whole ladder goes down or just something bad happens. So like it's intimidating. And like if you're, good at installing solar and if you're good at any trade, like it takes a lot of like practice.
So that brings me to the idea of strategy and what you do. Do you use the knowledge that you have from your work in your content? So when you're filming content, do you make videos? I do know what you put on social media, but maybe the viewers don't know so much. What is your main strategy for when you are producing content for social media?
Oh, I think my style is to be really subtle. Like I'll see something crazy.
And you do ASMR stuff and I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like you can subtly capture things and just like tell a huge story in a short video. And then that makes it like really entertaining, for the audience.
My like you were saying, my favorite is when you're carrying you're taking the big solar panel up with you.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, okay, please God, don't fall, don't drop it or something. There's like no sense or like people don't care on social media. They put everything up. So I'm always concerned you're gonna like put something up like that. But no, you're professional. You don't do that.
Thank you.
So what's like your favorite type of video to make that you put up?
Oh, you mentioned the ASMR videos. I don't like the sound, like installing solar panels is like music to me.
With the drill,
the drill, and then something sliding.
Yeah,
you like nails on a chalkboard, right? The squeaking,
no, it's
cutting
cool,
things, different So I really like to capture like the audio on the roof of like a massive project and all.
Oh, beautiful! That's
ASMR
excellent.
on there. Yeah,
that's awesome. So you've built a pretty substantial community for yourself, and you're definitely someone who's very prominent in the entire the trades community as a whole. How have you gone about building that community?
Yeah, so I think 3 years now is basically when I started, TikTok account and later a YouTube and different things like that. And so it's been a crazy journey for 3 years.
Yeah.
And one thing I think you're in social media, this is like how much time and effort it takes to like build a brand, to like post consistently.
And it's so funny because everyone sees success. No one sees the path that it took you to get there. I mean, you're a prime example of the path that it took you to. You just said 10 years ago you got into solar, and 3 years ago you're on social media. I'm sure if you looked at your accounts 3 years ago to now, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't even believe I'm here.
Yeah, that is weird to look at, like going from zero to, wherever I'm at now and like the journey it took. But it's like the biggest thing I can say to someone who's starting out is like start today. Like if you want to be in social media, and then the consistency. Yeah, it takes from there.
You're super consistent, and on top of that too, like your content, every single one that I watch, like I get sucked into your content when I watch it.
Oh, cool.
Like I will scroll through your videos for like an hour. I'll be like, oh, I gotta get back to work.
Yeah. I try not to like repost anything, and I try to like dial in making authentic new content consistently. So like always having the camera on, filming, creating a new video, something the viewer hasn't seen before, and then posting that like as quick as to when I filmed it as possible.
And something else that you do as well, you do educate the viewer in the work that you do, but on top of that, something that you show very often is you do it in a very natural way. So instead of like addressing it in an educational manner, you're kind of like, yo, check this out. Like, have you guys seen this? Have you done this? And I feel like that gets a lot of engagement for you. Like, I feel like that's really great. And I really got to applaud you on that because a lot of people don't do that. It's all very, inside of the box. It's very educational based. Yours is real. It's real work.
Oh yeah, that authenticity
Yes,
of
yes.
like yeah.
Yes. I give you big
Thank
props
you.
for that. Have you are there any big challenges or lessons you've learned along the way? I mean, like you said, starting on social media 3 years ago to now, what is something that 3 years ago, the Solar Go didn't know that he's now really aware of?
Well, first, the consistency and how much work it is. But on top of that, like, I think it's kind of hard to put yourself out there because as soon as you make a video and you post it, you're going to get those hate comments.
always.
You're going to get everybody
Always.
who knows more than you challenging you or critiquing you or even making like personal jabs
Yep.
about you. So
Dude,
I think,
all the time.
Yeah, I think
All the
people
time.
get intimidated by that. They're like, what are people going to think or what are they going to say?
Yep.
What are they going to comment? And so that's a big challenge. Like, because you can when you put your content out there, you consistently get that.
Yep. So with your style of content, would you agree that, people go on social media, they're there for the entertainment, which you do flawlessly. Like, you're very entertaining. So many people go on because they are trying to just create, just education. You educate in a way that's entertaining, and I gotta applaud you on that. Do you feel that that's something that is very important to stick to on social media? That's not just about educating; it's more about making something that someone would actually want to watch, not just education.
I think that's specific for if you're in a niche market. Because I think about how much I've grown and the industry I'm in is actually pretty small. Like there's not too many people in solar compared to maybe some of the other categories, whether it's like sports or style or makeup or some of the larger social media categories. And so if you can make a piece of content that is entertaining and educational, you can capture a larger audience in a niche market.
No, it's beautiful. Exactly. Are there any key lessons that you've learned? I mean, there's some challenges that you came across. Was there anything that you specifically said to yourself, like, oh my God, I'm so glad I know this now?
Oh yeah, I think I learned everything the hard way because it's like social media is interesting because like I wanted to do social media with like the end goal of having it be more than just posting every day, having it in some way like complement my business and like some way be a career.
Have you? If you, I totally agree. When you get clients to work with, have a lot of them recognized you from social media? Have you had people be like, "Oh my God, watch your stuff"?
Yeah, exactly. So like the joke I have is that most people pay for their marketing.
Yep.
They like spend money to put ads out,
Yep.
and I get paid
Yeah.
to like market my business.
yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
like beautiful about
Yeah,
social
you do
media.
come up on my feed pretty often, and it's not your account.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get your brand out there, and yeah.
Yes,
So,
that's excellent. That's great. So you were just talking about, your partnerships and how you're making content for the people. How do you go about monetizing your content?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that's really I think most people want to do. Like I watched YouTubers when I was younger, and like I saw them make a career off of being a YouTuber, where they'd post vlogs and they would make like a substantial amount of money from like ad revenue.
Yep.
And so I think that's what most people are familiar with is like a lot of content out there has ads, and those ads like pay you.
Right.
But what people don't know is that you can make money off of your channel and basically make income that benefits maybe a side business or something like that. But it's a little bit more low key.
Right.
It's not as obvious as like they're playing a 5-minute ad or something on your video.
It's kind of like it's a almost like a product placement inside of whatever you're working on.
Yeah, exactly. And it can be subtle. And that kind of goes in line with like, say, Jonard Tools and my relationship with you guys. Because
Oh shucks, man.
because like it could be something as simple as having one of your tools in my video or a specific video about one of your tools.
Yep.
That's something that like through agreement with you guys, I would be able to like say monetize for like sharing a review or something like that, and making that content about like a specific product.
Nice. Do you want to talk a little bit about the partnership that you're working on?
Yeah, and so what started out with Jonard was that we did a collaboration on some content, and through like months of working with you guys, because I've been using your tools, posting videos about it since like, I don't know, early spring. It was like April of this year. Eventually where we're at right now is we have a custom kit coming out that's, that is out for solar panel installers.
Yep.
And it's a toolkit that has, you know, all the tools necessary for wiring up.
The goat of all kits.
The goat of all kits. Yeah, and so the custom kit that has the tools that you need as a solar installer to wire up a box. You know,
Yeah, it's excellent. Oh, I love the thing. I can't wait to post all sorts of content too around it. We've been working on that a little bit, you and I.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. It's gonna be great. Yeah. So these are some pretty cool achievements that you've been able to get to with all this. You know, for everyone else out there who want to be where you're at one day, what is some stuff you could tell them to keep focusing on?
Yeah, because I think there's a pathway that you have to take in order to like, because we're talking about a custom kit, but it doesn't start at like a custom kit.
Right.
It can start at just making a simple video about a product that you genuinely like. And I think that's honestly the best way to introduce yourself to a manufacturer. If someone's like creating content or is a content creator and you're like, how do I find brands to work with? I would recommend just getting that part, that tool, that item, and making a video about it, and then getting that brand's attention. It is like probably the best way to start.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, and you were talking about it earlier, you know, going back to consistency, like actually becoming who you are with being a content creator with it. You have to grow the audience first. You can't just get the kit. You can't just be there. You have to do the whole path beforehand.
Because you're on the back end of social media for like Jonard, right?
Yes.
And so, okay, so from your perspective, if you didn't know who I was and I bought some of your tools and I made a video, even if that, let's say two scenarios, that video does poorly or the video does really good, would either of those get your attention?
If you didn't already have a community, I mean, of course, you'd be working with our tools, but if you didn't already have a community and already be growing yourself, it would be hard to recognize the fact that you're reputable. I'd have to know more about you to have to work with you more.
Okay. That makes sense. That's like a fair, honest response.
Yeah,
I think there is a little bit.
It's very straightforward, yeah.
I think there is a little bit of a value for someone who doesn't have a following though too, because one thing I recognize.
I will say we do work with plenty of people that do not have a following. We've grown with them as they've been growing.
Yeah, and the value is that they're creating UGC for you.
Yes.
So even though they don't have the following, they still have value because they can get in-field content, which is harder for you. So that's a little bit of a tip to people who are like just starting out in social media is like, you don't have to be intimidated by the fact that you're just starting out. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I guess what I was doing is I was taking it from the perspective of, are you going to get a custom kit because you just started making content?
Yeah, right. No, that takes years and years of work.
You have to build an audience for that type of thing, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you can start somewhere. You have to. And then that's just what you have to do. And you can't be like intimidated by the fact that you don't have a following yet.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So everything is awesome right now, and there's a lot of consistency with growth, and you've got the kit. But, you know, in terms of struggling, how do you go about the weeks where you make content and you're not seeing success from it?
That's actually been pretty difficult because something I've realized is that some of the videos I spend the most time on, and they're my favorite videos, do the worst. Have you seen that happen before? Yes. You're like, I love this video. It's going to do so good. I spent all week on it. And then like, it's, you know, maybe
you want to give up whenever it happens. Yeah, too. You're like, dude, what was the point of this?
It's discouraging. Something I've learned from that is it's okay to make content that you want to make, but that's what you're making. You have to be okay with that. If you make the video you want and like, it might not be the same video other people want. And like if you consistently make content that you love, I think you will eventually grow, and you'll grow an audience that also really enjoys that content. But you also have the option of trying to create content that people want to see. Right. Which is a totally different aspect.
Try to work with the algorithm, not against it.
Yeah. And so that's like, there's been times with social media where maybe I'm stuck at a certain level, whether it's like followers or views or engagement or something like that, and I stayed there for a long time, or like ups and downs. But like I think the biggest thing is to just stay consistent and don't get discouraged, and understand when you're posting videos that you want to make because you like doing it, that, you know, there's going to be like less viewership on that.
Right. Yeah, if you're making a piece of content that's for you, you have to realize you're making it for you.
Right.
And if you're okay with doing that, you have to also understand the fact you might not get the viewership from doing so.
Right. But then at the end of the day, what keeps you like being consistent is doing something you love.
Yep.
Because if you don't like making content, that's kind of like the other
you're
side
never
of
gonna
that.
make it.
You're not going to make it. Yeah, you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to put in the extra effort to like create content if you don't like enjoy it. So if the consistency is the most important thing, then I think it is important to make content you enjoy doing. And like time will go on, and eventually you'll be able to break through, flat lines and be able to like grow your audience.
Right. And I feel like, yeah, you'll find an audience eventually, even if it's content that is a very niche type of content, you'll eventually get that audience from it. It's just about what you were saying with consistency.
Yeah. And so going way back to like when I started social media, the first video that I did try posting on TikTok when I created the Solar Goat account went viral. I got millions of views on a video that I
probably
posted.
on such a high too.
I was on such a high, yeah. But that's also the opportunity that people can understand is it might be a little bit like a lottery.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can't really read into the algorithm too much and you don't know, but you always have that opportunity or that chance to like have your content be super successful. And that's available whether you have 0 followers like I did when I first started a TikTok account, or if you have a lot of followers. It's like a kind of equal opportunity. Yeah. There's some other factors there, but like anybody can start doing it and be successful.
All right, Brandon. So thank you so much for being with us today, guys. If you want to check out more of the Solar Goat, please check him out online. You have so much different content on all different platforms, between YouTube with more, informational videos to your social media like TikTok and Instagram with your ASMR content.
Yeah, because I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I've been doing the long format like vlog style on YouTube.
That's like my favorite one.
Yeah, that's my favorite content to make too. It's like
the most natural.
Yeah. So Solar Goat on all those platforms.
Awesome, great. Well, and also, you can't forget the TK96 Solar Essentials kit that you have coming out too.
Absolutely. For installers, it's a great packaged kit. It has all the essentials. Perfectly named for solar installers.
I'm not even in solar installation. It's like my favorite kit. So like I love messing with it, taking it apart, looking at the tools. It's great. It's a really, really good kit. So Brandon, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for
Appreciate
it's
it.
awesome.
Absolutely.